How are you finding life at Rangers then?
Good. Yeah, I'm just settling in. Every day I get to know my teammates a little more, and having the first two games under my belt is helpful, and just kind of feeling more comfortable here. But everybody's made the transition pretty easy.
Just wondered how the move came about and who you spoke to. In particular, did Ronny speak to you about what Scottish football is like?
Yeah, I mean, he had sort of talked to me kind of about what his experience was like at Celtic, and he told me about the league a little bit and shared some tips and stuff. And I spoke to Claudio Reyna as well, just because I know him from my time in New York. So just those two guys were kind of big influences on the move, and I think I'm happy I talked to them for sure.
Given Ronnie's previous allegiances, did he not try to put you off?
No, he was really good about it, and I think having won a trophy with him in New York, I think that kind of made things a little bit easier. But he was always supportive from the beginning.
How surprised were you to be thrown straight into things? Because often players get a little bit of time to adapt, but you've come from another country to another league and gone straight into the action.
Yeah, I think it's great for a young player to be able to experience that. I knew the boss had big expectations for me, and I think he showed that a little bit in starting away at Aberdeen and then home the other night. So it was obviously a good challenge, and I think each game I'll get better and I'll learn a little bit more, and I'm just looking forward to keeping improving.
Hi James, you've not been to Dingwall yet, so what have your teammates told you about that fixture and how difficult they might expect it to be to go up there and get 3 points?
Yeah, I think what I've heard from my teammates is that in this league, every away game is tough. They're hostile atmospheres. For this trip in particular, it's a long travel. So I think myself and the team have to be prepared for a very physical game, and maybe something that will be tough at the beginning, but requires a lot of patience. So I think those are the things I'm kind of expecting.
I spoke to Giovanni about Jack and Arfield coming off the bench midweek and the value they added. How have you enjoyed playing with seasoned professionals like them and Kamara in the midfield?
Yeah, I think all three of the guys you just mentioned have a lot more experience than I do. So it's good for me to be in and around them. In training every day, I can kind of pick stuff up from them, and just watching them in the games, how they handle the atmosphere at Ibrox or whatever away ground we're traveling to is very helpful for a young player, and I'm going to keep trying to pick up little tips and tricks from them.
Hi James. Could you share with us where your preferred position is? Obviously, you've had 2 games at Ibrox. You've done what you've been asked to do, but could you tell us what is your actual preferred position?
I would say definitely, holding midfielder role. That's where I'm most comfortable. Obviously at my previous club, I bounced around a little bit, and I've played center back for the national team as well. But I think I'm definitely more comfortable at holding mid, and that's a big reason why I came here is that they saw me in that position. So I think that's definitely my number one.
And in terms of the midfield overall, you've got quite a bit of competition. Obviously shows a fair bit of belief in yourself to come to Rangers where the competition is so fierce. How does that compare with where you were with NYC?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different. I think especially in New York and most MLS teams, you kind of have your starting lineup set, and as long as everyone's healthy, that's kind of the lineup that the coach will go with. Whereas over here, you have quality throughout the roster, so everybody's pushing for a starting spot, and like you said, it adds to the competition a little bit. But I think everybody gets better with competition, and that's certainly going to help me a lot. And I think I mentioned it a little bit, but having competition that's older and more experienced will definitely help me out.
Hi James, you mentioned that you're learning early on in your spell at Rangers. Just wondered what you took away from Wednesday. Obviously it was your first experience of playing at Ibrox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the big takeaways from that game was just kind of learning what different styles there are in this league. In MLS, you get a lot of teams that are very similar. So, the games are teams trying to play the same way. It's very even, not much to separate it. Whereas over here, you have teams that will try and play two completely different styles, like you saw in the game last night. So I think learning how to play a little bit of a different way is kind of the big takeaway so far for me.
And as you're kind of referencing there at Rangers, obviously a lot of the teams you'll face, it will be a challenge of kind of earning the space to play in before you can create chances.
Yeah.
Will it take you time to adapt to that style of football?
I'm sure it'll take me time. It always takes time when you're in a new team in a new environment. But I think with the kind of the quality that Rangers have, it should be pretty straightforward. And I think each game I'm going to get better, and I'm gonna adapt a little bit more to the league.